I've reviewed a few games from the Kingdom Hearts series here in the past. I've covered games like Rechain of Memories, Recoded, and a few other titles from the early Kingdom Hearts games. But one game that I didn't really officially review here on the channel was the original Kingdom Hearts game, which released back in early 2002 from the creative minds of both Disney and Square Enix for their first major collaboration together in what would be a long-running franchise. I grew up with Kingdom Hearts far before I played RPG series like Final Fantasy or any of the other games I've talked about here on this YouTube channel. But Kingdom Hearts 1 is a special one. It's a self-contained adventure that sparked an entire new series, and once again a long-standing collaboration between two very large companies. But time has passed since then. A lot of new entries in the series have come out, further expanding the lore, storytelling, and of course the gameplay. So, the real question is, despite how iconic the original game is, does it still hold up to this day? Today I'll be looking at the original PS2 version here for this review specifically, and let's just see how this timeless classic really does stand the test of time. Kingdom Hearts 1 to this day, on the PS2 or for any of the remastered ports, looks very incredible for a PS2 game. The level of detail that Square Enix pulled off for the first major game in this franchise, with Tetsuya Nomura, the guy behind a lot of the Final Fantasy content that you see nowadays. The fact that this was his major directorial debut and actually creating a video game is extremely impressive. Everything from the character models, the sprites, the backgrounds, the various worlds that you visit from the Disney worlds, the gummy ship animations, the enemies, the boss fights, everything in this game is extremely well detailed. As you're traveling from world to world, resolving each of the issues, defeating the enemies known as Heartless, encountering various Disney villains, and of course the cinematic cutscenes. Everything in this game looks incredibly detailed, and really, I don't have any major complaints for most of the visuals in the game. Despite how impressive a lot of the cinematic cutscenes look, like the intro, or the various different enemies, character designs, and just the detail of the different worlds in general, this game does look aged in a lot of ways. And unfortunately, this is a common trope for a lot of early PS2 games that went for the whole 3D aesthetic, because that was the norm at the time. Again, Kingdom Hearts 1 does not look bad by any means, but you can definitely tell in a lot of the facial sprites during certain cutscenes, the gummy ship missions where it's just kind of blocky textures shooting down comets and rings that you fly through in deep space as you travel from world to world, as well as different static character models alongside the Disney worlds, and then the lack of detail in certain ones, and just frankly how barren the design can be. You can definitely tell that, visually speaking, despite how impressive a lot of elements of it are, it definitely needed some updating. Not really complaining about the visuals too much, considering this was an early PS2 title, but I will say as well, the visuals look good overall. They are very aged in some areas. Something I can safely say about this one is that the music in this game is fantastic. The soundtrack covers so many bases when it comes to the themes of the Disney worlds like Agrabah, the Olympus Coliseum, Alice in Wonderland, Atlantica, or quite frankly any of the tracks that you hear in this game. Each one of them contains music from the movies or original scores that just match the theming of each one of the worlds. And that's not even counting the original tracks composed by Yoko Shimomura, who's responsible for doing the music for the Kingdom Hearts series for a very long time now, and various other video games like the original Super Mario RPG. She brings all of these scores to life, whether it be simple and clean for the main theme, each one of the Disney themes, or just, quite frankly, any one of them that show up in this game. What I'm trying to say is that the soundtrack in this game is fantastic to listen to. I am very well aware, as a fan of this series, that Kingdom Hearts is a very complicated storyline to get into. Each one of these games came out on different consoles, there were spin-offs, prequels, and just the introduction of so many new characters and storylines that it was just really hard to keep track of everything going on in the Dark Secret Saga up until Kingdom Hearts 3. We're talking a span of over 17 years of multiple different games, but fortunately the plot of Kingdom Hearts 1 is extremely simple and clean, so to speak. Pun aside, this game has a very simplistic plot that works very well for the game. You play as a young boy named Sora, waking up on his homeworld of Destiny Islands with his two best friends, Riku and Kairi. After the three friends decide to create a raft to travel to other worlds to see what life is like outside of the islands are suddenly engulfed by darkness, invaded by a horde of enemies known as the Heartless, beings that are composed of complete darkness and aim to steal people's hearts. Sora, upon encountering the Heartless, ends up being granted a weapon of light known as a Keyblade, a key-shaped sword. After fending off some of these enemies, he's transported off to a distant world, meeting Donald and Goofy from Disney, and together the trio teams up in order to actually combat the Heartless, figure out the mysteries of why the worlds are disappearing, and eventually defeat the main antagonist of the game, a man named Ansem. Brief story plot aside, there is a lot of details and a lot of things that happen in the original Kingdom Hearts that I really don't want to spoil for all you guys out there who haven't experienced this title properly. But I will say though that the story is extremely intriguing and I really do like it. I love Sora, Riku, Kairi, this iteration of Donald and Goofy, and all the different Disney characters that you encounter throughout the game. A lot of the original voice actors return, a lot of the worlds have loose recreations of each one of the movies they're based on, like Aladdin for example, or Alanica. Halloween Town also pops up, Neverland. There's a lot of loose recreations here again of most of the movies. What I will say is though that the plots inside the Disney worlds this time matter because they're connected to the greater overarching story. Riku, Sora's friend, shows up at a lot of points being manipulated by Maleficent secretly. You encounter him and see his descent into darkness more and more as time goes on. You encounter Kairi a few times in spirit that continues to give Sora a goal in order to actually go and seal each of the keyholes in this world, and ultimately take down the bad guy Ansem, who you discover more about as the journey goes on. So this overarching plot is not only well constructed with great characters and one hell of a finale with a great big boss gauntlet, but each Disney world isn't just, again, a loose recreation of the movie, they matter to the greater plot. And this is something that the later Kingdom Hearts games, outside of 2, really did struggle with in a lot of ways. But what I will say is overall, though, that the story in this game is incredible without going into too much in-depth spoiler territory ways. And the fact that the Disney worlds kind of connect back to the greater overarching story, despite how lackluster some of them can be, like Neverland, for example, which doesn't really have anything to do with the movie, they still all contribute to the greater overall structure of the game, and it's just really fun.
You were looking for me?
They too have been seeking the wielder of the Keyblade.
Hey, why don't you come with us? We can go to other worlds on our vessel.
I wonder if I could find Riku and Kairi.
Of course!
Are you sure?
Who knows? But we need them to come with us to help us find the king.
Sora, go with them. Especially if you want to find your friends.
Yeah, I guess.
But you can't come along looking like that. Understand?
Oh?
No frowning, no sad face, okay?
Yeah, you gotta look funny, like us. Whoa.
This boat runs on happy faces.
Happy?
That's one funny face.
Okay, why not? I'll go with you guys.
Double duck.
Name's Goofy.
I'm Sora.
In terms of the gameplay, Kingdom Hearts, you can kind of break it down into an RPG hack-and-slash game. The RPG elements in this game are fairly obvious right off the bat. You acquire money to buy new items, gain experience in order to level up. You can customize your loadout by equipping different keychains to change the stats of your Keyblades, as well as the appearance. Using Donald and Goofy, you can also equip them with different magic, armor, basically every kind of RPG mechanic you can think of is present in the original Kingdom Hearts. What makes this one more unique, though, is that you travel across different overworlds across each of the Disney worlds, platforming, solving puzzles to make progression, encountering different enemies in order to continue the story, as well as different cutscenes that play. Once again, like a traditional video game, right? Well, in this game, as far as an RPG goes, this is where the path kind of deviates a bit into the hack and slash element. You can dodge, you can strafe and weave around enemies. By pressing the square button on the PS2 controller, you can swing your keyblade and hit enemies, you can cast magic, you can map your movements to another side of the controller in order to effectively take out enemies. Basically, while the RPG mechanics are present here, you're actually able to go and attack enemies a la Devil May Cry in a way. That's what makes this game extremely unique, and that's what I really like about it. The fact of the matter is that you can play this game like a hack and slash, combined with the RPG mechanics being present here. It's not turn-based, there's no transition screens, so if you're not a fan of that kind of stuff, or random encounters for that matter, then this game is the game for you. The fact of the matter is, the gameplay in this game when it comes to the combat and the exploration worked extremely well. You get to see the aesthetics and different levels of each of the Disney worlds, take out some really cool bosses, both Disney villains and of course Heartless in general. And the hack and slash gameplay combined with the RPG mechanics works well for the game. The one complaint I do have in the gameplay department goes back to what I mentioned in the visual section. The fact is that the original Kingdom Hearts has aged not the best when it comes to the controls. Sora's movement is extremely stiff, not always responsive. He feels extremely floaty when jumping from platform to platform, so you may not always make them when you're trying to progress through the levels. When it comes to the actual combat, Sora's dodge roll can be extremely slow. The movement of the Keyblade really doesn't always respond as well as you might want it to. So the movement and the control is really clunky when it comes to combat, exploration, and platforming. It does get in the way from time to time. It is an issue as far as the gameplay goes, but considering how old the original Kingdom Hearts is and all the elements I've talked about, the gameplay overall, despite Sora's controls, is pretty good overall.
Come on!
What else can be said at the end of the day about a timeless classic like Kingdom Hearts 1? Kingdom Hearts 1 set the groundwork for not only an effective collaboration between Disney and Square Enix, but it brought an entirely new generation of gamers into the RPG genre, introduced them back to the old Disney movies from their childhoods, got them feeling nostalgic again, and introduced them to a brand new Square Enix property with brand new characters that they can really enjoy for a new game series. The original Kingdom Hearts 1 is a really good title. There's no denying that. The visuals are impressive for the time, the soundtrack is phenomenal, the stories and the Disney worlds and the overarching plot with new characters like Sora, Riku, and Kairi is extremely intriguing, and works well for the first game of the series, having the most straightforward plot out of any Kingdom Hearts game, which really does work to its advantage. The gameplay is really fun with the hack and slash elements, as well as being a fully fleshed out RPG. The original Kingdom Hearts, however, does have issues, like I've highlighted throughout this video, mainly attributing to time. The fact of the matter is, this is an early PS2 title that does have limitations. The visuals look muddled in a lot of areas, the gameplay really isn't the best when it comes to Sora's control and movement, as well as some of the level layout of the worlds kind of being lackluster. But despite all of these issues, the fact of the matter is, there's too many good things about the original Kingdom Hearts to not recommend it, both to old fans who haven't replayed it in a while, or newcomers who really do just want to sink their toes into this series. Despite how complicated the story gets later on, the original Kingdom Hearts can still be enjoyed and played, whether you want to continue with the series or not. I can definitely recommend this one, despite some of the aging issues. The original Kingdom Hearts is an extremely good title. Definitely play this one. And that is going to do it for this review today, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the original Kingdom Hearts in the comment section down below. I know how iconic this game is. A lot of people have grown up with Kingdom Hearts, including myself. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. Do you love the original game? Do you not really care for it too much? What do you like about it? What don't you care for about it? What are your overall thoughts on the Kingdom Hearts series in general? I know there's a lot of different opinions in the later entries. But let me know all your thoughts and feelings on the original game and the series in the comments. Give the video a like if you did enjoy the review. It really does help out these videos and lets me know that you guys enjoy what's going on here. And subscribe to the channel if you guys want to keep up with future videos here with game reviews, collection videos, collaborations, and everything else we do here for retro gaming nostalgia. That being said, thank you once again for checking this out, and this has been Ryan from the Nostalgia Factor saying, keep on gaming.